Okay, just an update on my little carbide grinders that I've been working on. I've been working on them here and there when the weather's bad outside. Today it's raining, drizzling, so I've kind of finished up building things, and I actually put one of them kind of together. It's not fully complete. I'm going to bend some sheet metal and put my switch up here, and I'm thinking about putting the light on here too. But I do have the table. I kind of went overkill with the table. I should have cut it off right here and just had it just this long, but I guess a little extra table is not going to hurt anything, because I don't know how he'll mount his, but I'm going to mount mine so that it's actually hanging off wherever I mount it on the bench, so it'll actually, like this would be the bench. My surface plate would be the bench here. I'll have it hanging off, and then I have it so that I have a bracket here. If I loosen that, I can adjust this up and down. I can loosen the two slides on the side and adjust the gap on the wheel. So anyway, I'm about ready to put the second one together here, and I just thought I'd video that. I haven't videoed much of my work, so the first thing to do would be to mount, need to back you up so you can see what's going on here. But I made these brackets here. They go in and get pinned here on the first hole, and then there's two dowels that rides on the side of the block here. So I guess the first thing I need to do is put some dowels in here. I need to put 4 dowels in. Actually, I'm going to put this together first. So take and mount this. Put the pins in. I turned up some 3/16 drill rod. They're not drill blanks, it's just drill rod. Get the hole lined up. Tap that in. And go to the other side. Put the other one in. Same thing. Put it in the slot. I just on the back side of the table here, I milled the slots for these to fit in, milled the angle, and then I milled this cut in here so that if I ever want to knock this pin out, I can just knock it into that slot. Otherwise, I'd have been building a mouse trap where I wouldn't have been able to get it apart anyway without going back in there and milling. But this way I can still get it apart if I want to down the road. So anyway, why is it rock and pin must be sticking out yet a little bit. There we go. All right. Come on. I didn't find the hole. I'm looking at the back side here through to see where the hole's at, why it's not where I'm off. There we go. Okay. And the adjustment for up and down is going to go on this side. It gets bolted into this block, so that is the short little guide, if I can find where I laid it. Shoot. Thought I had everything laying here ready to go. Not underneath this one. Nope, there goes my pin though. Alright, what did I do with it? I did make two. Missing my linkage here for the adjustment. I got I laid it down somewhere. Isn't that the shits? You lay stuff down and then it seems like I don't remember where I laid it. Because I thought I had all the pieces here. Oh, here it is. Had it over by the sander, the disc sander. I need to deburr this hole first. I had it laid by the disc sander. I was just disc sanding the radius on it. Want to get a good chamfer on it to help me guide the pin in when I tap the pin in. Now let's see, make sure I get it on the right side. It goes on this side. So tap the slot, line up that. Okay. Pin in here. Well, that could have been a little tighter, but that'll work. If it does vibrate out, I'll take and Loctite it in place. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and mount this block on here first before I go any further. Oh, I didn't cut screws for that. I got long 1024 screws that I need to cut off for that. And because they're too long, they're way too long, so I need to cut them off. Even this one, and plus the heads aren't like a cap screw; they're just a little bit over. So you gotta just sand down the diameter of the head just a little bit for it to fit in the counterboard. Like that. See, then it'll fit in the counterbore. Do the other one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna shove it in there, and I'm going to take a marker here. Just mark a line on here. Right about where I want to cut it. I'll just go over to the lathe here and I'll shut my sander off. Go over to the lathe over here and pull this out. I need to deburr that before I pull that out of there. Just run a file and knock that burr off. And this rod is rusted, and it is actually feels like it could even be a little oversized. Huh. Well, for crying out loud. Grab this with my scripts here. Let's see if I can twist it and get it out of there. Stuck in my collar. Well, there we go. It's just some old rod that I had laying around, and it's pretty rusted. That's why it was so tight in that collet. I hope that's the only reason it was that tight. Leave that up there for now. And I want to cut it off right on that red mark. put her in close here. Okay, I'm going to cut right on that red mark. Move you over here a little bit. Oh, you can't see there. I don't know if you can see anything or not, but that's where you're going to sit. Okay, and then I'm going to stick the other one in there. I don't know how much too long it is. And that's a ways. I'm just going to grab the end of it. I want to make them about the same length. Okay, so if I go right up next to the collet. Alright, that takes care of that. Now we'll go over here to my dirty disc sander and take the little nub off and give it a lead. Just give that first thread a little chamfer. Alright, now let's go back to the surface plate. Oh boy, you guys are gonna busy there. Alright, so we're back over here, and now I'm going to mount this on here. I had put a chamfer on for the wheel, for clearance on the wheel. So we'll go here. And all this block does is gives it an anchor point for adjusting the angle of the table. So it's not really nothing critical other than it can't move. You don't want it to move. Okay, so now like that. Now the table will go in here like that. So now I got to put these pins in over here, and I can put two of them in. And the other side I'll have to let's see, I want some short ones. I could have almost made those. I want them hard. I don't want them loose, plus they're 1/4 inch. I'm going to see if I can find some short 1/4 inch dowels. I'll be back. Okay, I got the covers kind of formed for up on the top, and you know me, I don't throw anything away. I made it out of, this is inside where the motherboard of a desktop, saved the little sheet metal pieces in the inside. It's dead soft tin, so you can bend it to whatever you want, and anyway, I formed them up kinda with limited. What I did was I notched the corners. I cut a piece out, a flat pattern out, notched the corners, put it in a vise, bent it over, bent these two out, front and back over, and then I bent the sides over on this one. Then I thought, you know, it would be easier if I bent around in a circle, bend front, side, back, and then all I'd have to do is one side that I didn't have clamped in a vise. So anyway, that's what I done. So now it's a matter of figuring out where I want my switches. So I'm thinking right here somewhere, and that'll be right hand, left hand. So, and then put a switch over here for the light, and on and off. And this would, left and right would be, and in the center would be off. So, and I will work on that. And, if I put a light on there, I got to figure out how I want to mount the light yet. What I was thinking about doing, and I don't know if this will work, but let's grab a piece of dowel here. What I was thinking about doing is grabbing a piece of dowel rod, just a wooden dowel rod, and putting the bracket out, and then on the underside make a cut for some of this LED light strip that I bought. It's waterproof, so I would take and recess the dowel, cut a pocket and put that in the dowel. That way you could turn the focus, the light where you wanted. It would probably take up, try to get as many LED units on it as I can. So it'd be probably like that, somewhere like that. So I'd end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little packages of light. Or I could go with the non-waterproof, being I don't think it'll ever get wet anyway. But I'd end up with the same thing. Or I do have other LED lights that not exactly sure where I put them, but I do have some bayonet socketed, right here. Or I could go with a light like that. Those are really bright, but then I would have to make a shield for it or something. I'm thinking the light strip, so I probably will mess around with that before I go and do switches. That way I know what all I need to put on there for my switches. I also might put an LED indicator light in there too, to show that it's on. Although you're going to hear it if it's on. So anyway, I did get them formed. This one here has two little dimples from the computer board that clips in, but that's fine. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. So anyway, never throw anything away. It sometimes comes in handy. But you know what? I spent biggest part of last week 5S'ing and trying to get rid of some of the stuff I've been hanging on to. I just hang on to too much stuff. So anyway, phone's ringing. I gotta go answer it. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.